Oh, whoops. I don't know why it's there. Whatever. Okie dokie. All right. Let's see. Okay. Let's see now. Got the skin. All the flat colors are down. So now need to nope, for some reason that just looked like it was not filled in. Okay, so all the flat colors are down and I can start working on the shadows and highlights and whatnot. Let's see. Hey, how's it going? There we go. Definitely a couple ways to do shadows, but let's see. That's good. Try that color. I'll leave it normal for right now. Let's see. Yeah. I mean, I definitely did that. For sure. I might adjust this a little bit, but for right now it's good. Something like that. I'm alright. Just works, whatever, stuff like that. I'm doing okay. So let's trying to figure out where all the shadow stuff is going to be. Kind of like that on here, a little bit right there. Something right there, I think. See, I'm alright. Nothing crazy going on. That's unfortunate. Well, hopefully we get that all worked out. Don't want to keep losing stuff. That wouldn't be any fun. Something kind of like that, I think. That. Just kind of fold across there, I think. Ah. A little tired. Coffee hasn't really kicked in yet, I guess. My apologies. I actually slept longer than I normally do, so it's taken me a minute to kind of wake up. But yeah, I'm all right. Just working through the waking up process, I guess. Let's see. Something kind of like that. We're gonna have to see how this all looks once I start messing with the layer property, but I think it's looking all right so far. Let's see. And the thing is, let's see, most of this will be in like shadow. Like that right there. So I'm going to go a little bit on the outside here and kind of down and here, because I think that would kind of catch some light over the shoulder kind of thing. This would be in shadow. Let's see. Something kind of like that, I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you might want to get a new USB. That doesn't sound like it's working, which is unfortunate. Let's see. That. around somewhere around there. I think that's kind of right. Like that. Yeah. Get all of this out. Out there. And we'll figure that part of the hair out in a second, I guess. Let's just actually cover most of his face, I think. Something kind of like that, I think. And we'll fine tune all of this later to make more sense of it. But kind of, yeah, we'll fine tune all of the stuff as I go, figure that out. Okay. Not entirely sure how I want that part right there with the serration, I guess. Yeah, how I want that to work out. Maybe I have it come down in a little bit to kind of match it up. I don't know. Something like that, I think. So I think that's most of the like general shadow information. Let's do this real quick. Okay. And right now we're working very broadly from a distance, so I'm probably gonna have to go in and kind of clean up the edges of these things a bit. But I think it's looking pretty good. I think the shadows kind of make sense. And that's not always the case. Sometimes they do not make sense when I put them down, and I have to figure out that has to go. Alright, so we got most of this stuff in and down, so now I need to figure out how I want this to look. Darken actually looks really nice. Multiply. It's a little bit more punchy. So far I think Darken is probably the one I want to use. It's interesting that I don't have the options for some of these that I would normally have. It might be the image mode for the document. I'm not entirely sure. That would be real weird. So that's saturation. That's pretty nuts. Color. That almost looks like he's lit by a blue light as opposed to... Yeah. Luminosity is interestingly kind of good on the skin and not so good on other parts. Probably because the color I was using is darker than the skin and lighter than most of the other things I was putting it on. So that's very interesting. But let's see, darken. Right, that was the first one I did. So darken's kind of cool. And it's a cool shadow, not warm. Why am I not? There, okay. So now I can kind of go in and just, whoops, fix this up a little bit. I might change the color. Okay, so it's not really doing anything for the black, the quote-unquote black. Even though it is darkening things, it's not really darkening that. So that's an interesting little side note. I will have to deal with. Actually, no, I want that to kind of go away. We'll put it over here on this side. So at some point, this makes a change over to the opposite side for the shadow. Not too worried about where that is at this point. Let's see. So yeah, let's see if I do multiply. So multiply actually does show up on the black, so that's a nice thing about the multiply layer versus the darken, so I might have to like cut out all of the black and make a separate layer for those. That might be the only way to really get that to work. So we'll have to see on that one. So right now, let's do, I can go back to darken. I might use, I don't know, I might just kind of go over some of the areas just with a regular normal layer shadow after I darken, after I do the darken layer. We'll have to see how that works out. I'm gonna bring this up. Oops. Something I need to kind of figure out is right here. How much I want this to kind of be in the light as well. If I want to go all the way up to this line, since it does stick out a little bit, I think that's probably a better, yeah, better place to have that. I think that looks pretty good. I'll put that right there, I think. And I can always go in and I can change up this color. I could go into hue and just change this entire color if I wanted to. So we'll have to see kind of, because I kind of like the blue shadow, but I might want a little less blue. I don't know. We'll see. First, we'll just go in and kind of clean up. That's what we're working on right now, is just cleaning up. Okay. Kind of smoothing out these hard shadow lines I made. At least a little bit, maybe not all the way, but smoothing them a bit. Okay. Give these just a little bit of, they're getting light from that side there. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. It's kind of nice. Push this up. Put that right there. So let's see. And especially on clothes, you don't want like a straight line for stuff like that. You want to kind of show that it bends a little bit and moves. That'd be kind of nuts. I think I'm gonna just put like a really simple background on this one, but that is a good idea for a future piece for sure. I like that idea. That's definitely something like he would think about doing 100%. Well, he wouldn't really think, so that would be why he would do something that stupid, I guess. Let's see. Let's bring that down. Something a little bit more like that. Maybe bring this over here a touch. The light is catching this side of it, not so much. No. There we go. Something kind of like that. All right, and then this, like so. Okay. Well, that's good. Glad to hear that. That's way better than not saving it. That would have been really bad. I'm glad you get to like save your hard work. That's awesome. Okay, so we got that. Got some stuff going on there. All right, we need to fix this bit here, I think. So yeah, let's do something like that. Okay, that's not too bad. And we can put a little bit on that hairline there. Nothing too crazy. Push this back. Inside his ear. Outside there. Boom. Okay, so we're getting places with this that I'm kind of happy with. That quick. Smooth that out a touch. All right. So kind of smooth things out. Definitely need to smooth this stuff out. Okay, so I'm going to go in right there. Alright, so coming down. Alright, so we do that right there. Alright. And push that. something like that. There we go. Okay, and that's pretty smooth. I'm all right with that. All right, so all the black, quote unquote black in this, I need to essentially like go to another layer. Saturation. So let's see if this does anything. Let's move it. See if I find, for some reason, find something I like. One of the most difficult things for me to draw is smooth yet shape fitting jawline. Yeah, it's not an easy thing to do. These are looking a lot more like lighting than shadow at this point. I mean, that's basically what I already had. That's super dark purpley. Again, we're more lighting it there. And then as we get over this way, somewhere in here is like warm shadow. Somewhere. Probably like that one is almost warm shadow. That's a dark warm shadow. We're pushing the dark. Okay, so then eventually we get something that darkens the gloves and hair and stuff. But that's crazy. That's not where I want that. So let's just cancel that for right now. So what I think I will have to do is set this to normal, and then I'm going to cut out, oops. Okay. I'm going to cut out all of the black spots. Worry about. Okay, cool. So that is correct. And quickly mask that back in. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just keep doing that, essentially. Do need that bit too, and whoops, we're on the wrong one. I have to keep going back down to the shadow layer, so that's fun. Okay, so we're getting that's interesting. That doesn't, well, I guess it's right. I don't know. Okay, yeah, no. Shift. There we go. Put it right in place where it should be. There we go. Yeah. And again, just going through and grabbing all of these black parts. Yeah, that's all right. Nope. Back in place. There we go. So then I'm just going to put all of these on one layer. And then we are going to change that to multiply. Nope, don't like that. Actually darken first. There we go. That's not so bad. All right, nailed it. There. So obviously sometimes you have to kind of adjust how you're working the shadows for different things. Like this, shadows need to be one way for the gloves and hair and all of that fun stuff, and totally different for the skin and clothes and everything. Actually, I might need it to be, no, I think I might work a different yeah, I might work a different one for the wood as well, because I don't like the way that looks currently. I don't like the way the wood is looking on either one, so we're gonna have to figure that out. All right. Okay. Okay. Definitely gonna have to use a different color for the actual, like the orange hair is gonna have to be a different color for the shadow. Okay. Oh, is that? Yeah, that's that layer right there. So let's just delete that layer. Yeah. Just go back in here. I'm gonna have to do the energy off of his eye. I don't know how I'm gonna do that yet. either, so that's another fun one to figure out. Okay, so there needs to change. There. Put that there. Erase that. Erase all. Thumb, the fingers. Alright, I'm gonna have to put like a small little spot on the nails. Once I get these all cleaned up. Alright. Okay, so we're working our way through this. It's going pretty well. Just get that one edge. That one's fine. Just put a little bit right there. All right. So let's see, let's get rid of this shadow on the hair. Don't totally care for that. Let's see, is that on? Yeah. Okay. So start an entirely new shadow there. Click mask again, and let's do getting a new USB. That's good. Try that. Let's see what that does. Okay, that's much better for this hair here. Yeah, I don't love that one. Well, actually, let's see. Yeah, no, that is not a good color for that, but it is working well for this. This I like it. So I need to put in like line art for the hair, actually. So let's do that real quick. Where did I go? Oh, there you are. Okay, so I'm just gonna put in that color there so I can grab that. And just grab this black. Let's zoom in here. And I hate all of that. Should have done it on a separate layer. Okay, let's figure this out. So real quick, let's just put a new layer down. Right there. There we go. That's not too bad. Those are done. All right. Okay. I think that works just fine. Okay, so that kind of gives me what I'm wanting. And then let's go up here, erase this out. Don't need that. Go back down to this layer here. Yeah, okay. And let's see where. So now it's got a little bit of depth to some of this. So that's kind of nice to have. It's not just flat. Okay. There. So let's zoom out. It's a little bit better, I think. Makes it look like he actually has like some short hair in there. Oh yeah, we need to work on the feather and the eye there. Bump this back up and lasso tool on the shadows layer. Just going to grab this whole bit. There we go. Merge those layers. And that one was on multiply. There we go. There's those. There we go. Okay, so we've got the orange, the black. So let's go in here. So zoom in on this. Hit that. So yeah, I'm gonna have to kind of figure out the whole whoops, right set this to normal real quick. Grab that. Now we can set it back to multiply. And put that back in. I still need to make that transition from like feather to wood. So that's fun. Okay, so let's get this all done under the top of the wing here. So I'm gonna give that a slight little shadow as well. All right, then we're gonna go in and kind of clean that up. Okay. All right, so we've got that going. Fill in some of these little gaps for whatever reason. Okay, so that one I'm missing. Looks like right there and there we might be missing some of the mask layer in there. All right, so we're gonna have to go in and fix that. So let's just grab that real quick. Put that back on, got this mask layer. Yep, this there. A little bit right there. Okay. All right. All right, so we got that. I think we got that cleaned up now. Yeah. Doesn't look like we have any more empty spaces, so we can go back up to black shadows. Set it to normal real quick. Grab that color and back down. There we go. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and clean this up a little bit, figure out how we want that to look. Not entirely sure. Maybe just like that on that one. I think right there, that edge one. Yeah, that's not too bad. Let's push this one a little bit back. just because it is on the edge there. Closest to the end of the feathering. Oops. So it probably wouldn't go all the way up there. A little bit more like that, I think. All right, so let's hit that, like that. Go like that. All right. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I try, especially with my own characters. I want to try and make them the best I can. Like it always feels a little bit more, I mean, it feels a little bit more personal when it's your own characters. I mean, for obvious reasons, they're yours, but definitely, okay. That. And I'm really not entirely sure if that's totally right. Like I might have, let's see. So this might just hit kind of like that. Kind of give that edge a little bit of light. I don't know. Yeah, we might bring it to like there. That might be a little bit more. Interesting, at least. Up to meet that. All right, and then let's see, we probably hit that, like that. All right. Let's get back to this part. Just not totally sure how deep these shadows would be going, but that's part of the fun, is figuring out. And all of this is, honestly, it's all subjective to the person working on it. It could be as shadowed and unshadowed as you want. Like I'm trying to be more conscious of like my shadow work. Whoops. Just because I want it to be like as good as I can make it. Put this right in here. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect on mine, at least. I know that. It's not even a question. So don't even trip if you're not very good with the shadows and whatnot. I'm not either. And I still make stuff, so can't be too bad. Let's see, so that's kind of all of that, and then like I said, I still need to make this transition right here, and I also need to figure out what color I want to use on the wood, because I don't like either color that I have going on it right now. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with this purple that I did for the hair. It's probably going to match what I'm looking for on that wood better than any of the other stuff. So let's go to orange, and we're going to change that from darken to normal real quick. Grab this color. Why you gotta do this to me? Okay. Yeah, grab that color, and then zoom back out and change that back to darken. Yes, and then let's see how that looks on. Is it really not giving me anything on that? Really? Interesting. Yeah, it's okay, so it's showing up there, it's just not showing up on there. Okay, so it's not going to work with that same color, so that's gonna be fun. So we need to figure out a color that will work on the wood. Let's try a weird color. Nope. Okay, just okay, and then back to darken. There we go. Okay, so let's just go with a new brown. Because even the belts look a little weird, that brown, so we're probably going to have to change that one too. Set this to a new clipping mask so it stays within the masking. Yeah, skin color is interesting. It also really depends on your lighting. Like if this was the middle of the night and there was like a faint light source, his skin would be a lot more blue. Like in the shadows here, but that would probably be more of his overall skin. And then I would darken the shadows with an even darker blue. I mean, if it's in the middle of the day, it might be a little warmer. Like it all depends on your lighting. Shadows are interesting. So real quick, let's try. I don't know what I want for. I want something kind of darken. See, that's again, we're too light there. And let's move it this direction. I think that's the right one right there. Yes. So skin. Just erase this out. I'm just gonna erase that. Erase that. Yeah, color is all extremely relative. It's very interesting, and it's very difficult to. It's a very difficult thing to learn and totally understand. Like I've learned it, still totally don't totally understand. Even though I have, let's, don't want to erase that bit. Just want to erase this brown bit around it. Brown bit around it. Yeah. It's something that takes a really, really long time to kind of, I think, really solidify it in your own mind. Is that even doing anything right now? Okay. Real quick. Okay, so that's actually like almost a black belt. I forgot about that. So I'm gonna have to do that belt, shadow on a different layer, it's fine. Okay, so let's see. Yes, that is a way better shadow. And I might kind of erase that on the edge of there. So let's do, we're gonna leave that like that. Yeah, I'm gonna erase the edge of this one. Do that same kind of thing right there. Too close to the edge. There we go. Oops. All right, so we got that. That's looking a lot better. Okay. Do kind of that right on that part. Erase a little bit of that edge of that belt. All right, so I think that's looking a lot better. There we go. That's what word I was looking for. We're looking better. Okay, so now putting that right there. Light's still coming down from like this angle-ish. It's hard to figure out exactly where my shadows should be for everything. It's very, very annoying. So yeah, at some point there's a transition to that other side. I don't know where that should be, but I'm putting it like right here. I'm not even going to deal with that now. It's just going to be there. There we go. That's super weird. It's almost the same color as the normal quote-unquote black that I have, so looks interesting when it's up next to it. Actually, that part right there, lit. And then, let's see. this right here is going to be lit up. To kind of have to figure that out right there. Like that. Alright. Yeah, this up next to the black is kind of weird. Because it is making it basically the same color as the black. So that may be slightly confusing. I wonder if I change it to multiply, it'll be different. If it'll be different or not. Different enough. Too blue. Oops. So yeah, I'll just leave it on darken and we'll leave it alone. So now if we go back to the lower levels. Okay. Go to black. Grab that. Now I'm going to take this and just go to the eraser real quick to change it to the same thing. So I'm going to take this. Oops. Wrong. But I grabbed the. Oh, because it's an eraser. So I'm going. Oh. Brush. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to go in here and we're going to kind of transition that a little bit. But no, we don't want the shadows. Sorry. Okay, now we can go back to darken. There we go. Okay, so hold on. I thought I went and selected the black. There we go. And I need the brown to count functions. Get rid of the brown shadows real quick. Let's go in here, grab this. Alright, so got that, and we're going to push that. Transition it. Push that back that way. Give a little bit of a. There we go. Okay, so that, I mean, that kind of transitions it. What's the worst thing that ever happened to me as an artist? That's a good question. That's a hard one, actually. I don't really know how to answer that. Like, it's a difficult one to answer. Probably just the coming through like high school. Like after high school, it kind of felt like every art teacher told you exactly what to do, so there wasn't a whole lot of like creative freedom, and I feel like it almost like took it away. So that's probably like, that sounds kind of weird, but that's probably like the worst thing, I think, if I had to like name something. So I feel like something is wrong with my headset. Anyway, it keeps doing a weird noise in my left ear. Don't know why it's doing that. I might need, I'm very confused. Okay, so real quick though, I really need to change this. Saturation I don't want to change. Let's put that back to 0. But I need it to be a different color. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so let's push it this way. No. So right now I'm just trying to like change this up so it looks different than the normal quote-unquote black that I chose. Alright. Because I don't want anything to be too close together. A little over a year ago, actually. So yeah, been doing this for over a year. Crazy. Man, I really need to figure this out. Why is this not working? Okay, so let's drop the saturation on this. See if we get somewhere. It's just, I don't like that though. It's too. Okay, that's closer to what I'm looking for. Let's see if I darken that up a little too much. There we go. It's still really, really close to the. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. I think. Okay, so let's lighten it a touch. I mean, soften it a touch. Okay. Okay, I think that's different enough from the color. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so now, is that an eraser? Yes, that was an eraser. So now I'm gonna hit this with like a soft erase. All right, so that's gonna kind of help that transition. Okay, so let's do the shadow. So this is going to be interesting. Black shadow. Normal. Grab this color. Back to was it multiply? Or darken? Yeah, that was definitely multiply. Okay, so let's help this transition area here. and then go back to. So that transition area is where it gets a little funky. Well, actually, that's not the right. Let's go normal. Look at this. Okay, so then darken to kind of push it back. And go in here to kind of erase this back a little bit. I think that might be helping. Hard to totally say. All right, so that one spot has kind of like a softer shadow transition because there's a softer transition between the feather and the wood. But I think we're looking all right, actually. So that's the shadows. Now let's see if I can do a quick magic-y thing. There we go. And we're gonna just create a clipping mask. And let's go in over this eye area here. And I'm going to, actually let's select that color there. And okay. And switch this back over to the hard brush. To eraser, hard brush. Okay. Shrink that down. So I might go in on the line mark layer there and kind of just get rid of that outline, but I don't know yet. It's not terrible. I might leave it. Let's see. That is a great question. Okay, so let's see. What exactly, do you have an idea that you want to do? I forget if we like really nailed something down or not. As far as that, I'd be super excited to do a collab. That'd be fun, I think. So let's no, lighting wasn't helping. Lighter color, new. Oops, stop doing that. Linear dodge. No, dumb. Nope. Saturation is kind of an interesting one for that. Color, luminosity. Multiply, darken, dissolve. Oh, no, that's terrible. Subtract, difference. Difference isn't terrible, but let's go back to normal. But yeah, I don't really know. Oh, let's push this a little more rich. Hit this. Am I? Oh, I'm erasing. That's why. Okay. We didn't nail anything down. I'm still searching for ideas instead. I mean, I don't really. So let's push that real quick. We'll do that right there. So yeah, I don't really know. We had the thing that I was gonna be a male. It was gonna be an action bear. Yeah, that's fine. We could definitely work. Look, damn it. Okay. Switch the brush. So, okay, yeah, absolutely we could do male, that's totally fine. I am totally fine with that. That color's kind of untouched. As it gets farther away, I think it's better if it's a little cooler. Transition that a little bit. It's not so bad. Okay, so let's erase that out. Let's excess on the outside of these lines. Those lines will have to be changed to like a purple some point here. Okay, so I like that. Like, I mean, we could do, like, if you have a character, we could swap characters or something. I don't know exactly what. That kind of gives it a glow look, I think. It's not too bad. But yeah, so we could definitely figure that out. So now we're gonna go over the line art with colors. Create cooking mask, so I'm going to grab, let's get a, let's go a little bit warmer, I think, and jump one over, maybe. Let's see how that looks. Real quick, let's switch that to circle hard round brush and hard round brush. Swap character, that's a great idea. If you have a character with a story, I could make a scene with him. Yeah, I'm down. I think that's a cool idea. All right, so let's see, we've got, that might be the right color. Might be a little too close to the scar color, but it is different. It's a different color, so we might be able to get away with this, at least for the time being. Yeah, that's definitely not gonna work though. So let's undo that a little bit. I might have to. Oh, is that really still on a separate layer? It totally is. Wow. Might have to change. Oh yeah, definitely need to get rid of that overlap there. I don't right off the top of my head, but we can figure that out. Not too fun. Oh, awesome. That's cool. It's exciting. Okay, so I think we have to come up with a different color here for the shadows. Let's see if that's a better color for like shadow. Just because I do need it to kind of match up. Let's see. So maybe a little bit more flesh colored. Yeah, I don't know. Let's go like almost like a gray. That's still not. So let's darken that. That's the problem you kind of end up running into, I feel like, when you're doing things like this. When you're coloring line art and you have like a weird shadow color, your flesh color doesn't fit in the shadow color. So you need to change it. Otherwise it looks real weird. Could just leave, well, I could just go dark gray for the shadow areas. Looks kind of interesting, I guess. So I could do that for the shadow stuff. Not terrible. Yeah, I might do that for the shadows. I might do this darker gray. We'll do it for now, and then I can always mess with it later, figure it out. Because doing the plain, like, darker bluish color wasn't looking right. And when we're done that, I would have an idea for SoundCloud. If you want, yeah. We could definitely talk about that. That's not. All right, so let's do this bit here. All right, so let's see. Got flesh shadow stuff. Yeah, let's change that one. There we go. Okay. Go with these. Don't want to do the nails though. The nails I want to stay. All right. So we got that there. This whole bit here. Drop that. Have to change. Oops. Actually, we'll leave that because that's, we're going to call that part of the thing. On here. So fix that out. Oops. Okay, so apparently that's just part of that. Okay, let's move over here to this. Definitely smooth that out. I don't know why that's all lumpy right there. Okay, got that. I think that's all of the shadowed skin parts. The gray that I wanted to make the animatic guy you're drawing gestures. Oh, cool. Halfway done with the coloring. That's awesome. Okay. This. Alright. Oh, I need to. Okay, let's do that real quick. Can't believe I forgot to do that, but in between the toes. Alright, so that kind of helps, I think, show where the light versus shadow goes on these. It's kind of cool. You can kind of see the transition in spots now. There's that. Real quick, let's grab that color. We'll just hit these. Alright, back to flash color. Alright. So I guess the next question would be, as far as these characters go, did you want to, I think that's all the kind of flesh lines except for around the mouth. I think that's set up differently though. Actually, this would be that color there, I think. Did you just want to like send each other line work of the characters, or did you want to do something a little different? Okay, so just to make sure all of this, is on separate layer. Okay. Oops. All right. Do a little push that like right there. Can I guess which country you're from? I cannot. I have no idea. Especially since, like, most of the time people who are watching this are from so many different places. It's kind of one of those things. Let's hit that color. Yeah. That there's no way I could guess that. Yeah, we could do that. Absolutely. No worries. Let's see. Okay, so we've got actually this part right here is going to be so. Okay, and then we'll have this darker color down here. So I need to fix that little spot over there. That. Okay. And go up to like right there. Boom. Okay, so now grab real quick, since there's only a couple spots with that. Get that darker gray. Put it like right there. All right, we got this going right there. Okay, so then grab this. Again, just kind of move it over a couple of spots, darken it up. We can kind of go in and fix little spots on this. Kind of finish that. Alright, we are cruising through this. Yeah, we'll fix it in a second. Glad I have that on a separate layer. It's helpful. You're from Germany. Wow. Yes, I am from America. That is correct. color. That color down. Erase that. That. Alright, and then let's get that. Oh. Hello. Alright. Seem to be excited, I guess? I don't know. Oops, wrong one. There we go. We'll just push that down over there. Anyway, welcome to my stream. Oops. Version of that. There we go. Okay, so we've got that. I do need to grab that color, and we're going to go another 2 shades. Okay. I don't know if I want. Yeah, sure, why not? We'll do that. Yeah, welcome to the stream. Cool dancing gifs there. So that's actually going to be a different color. Yeah, that's definitely going to be a different color too. So let's figure out that in a second. Pretty much these are all going to be the same color. So let's see. Let's grab that bright brown. We're going to switch it over there. Put this color down. That's not bad. All right, so yeah, I'm just going through and changing up the color of the line work right now. Do that right there. I'm done with color. I'm not doing the shading, lighting. Cool. Flat colors are just as cool. Honestly, it's a lot less stress on yourself too. And also changing the line art colors is another thing that's a lot of work. I wonder if I need to figure out that part too, because that's not too great. That's all gonna be that. Not a big deal. I think that's on another layer. Yeah, it's on another layer. So let's zoom out here. Softened up a lot, so that's fun. Is this on? Yeah, that is on our layer. So let's get to work on this hair. Zoom out a little bit. Let's grab that. Let's see. Let's go that too close to the shadow? That is super close to the shadow. So I might have to go one step darker. Oh, so that little bit right there is on another layer. That's interesting. Yeah, I think that's true. Most of this is going to be fine on that kind of color, but let's grab this color and we're going to drop it 2 from there. And put that on this edge here. And in the shadow. Alright, so that's better. Actually, let's grab it. I have to push that like that. There we go. Hello. Debating on buying the Stream Deck. What do you think? I can afford the 15-button one. I mean, the mini is way too small. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I could buy one of those. What I have right now is actually it's a macro button setup, but it is not specifically made for streaming, so it's not as nice as a Stream Deck, which would be way cool. The mini, how many buttons does the mini have? I don't recall. Okay, so I'd really need to figure that out. It has 6? Well, I mean, honestly, 6 is probably, like, unless you have a lot of stuff that you're trying to do, mini isn't too bad, at least for starting. And maybe when you get more into streaming, unless you're really already got a lot going on. All right, that's fair. I mean, Stream Deck is definitely, from what I've read, the best way to do it. And like I said, I wish I could afford to like go get one of those. The thing I have is all right. All right, that's going all out for sure. That's pretty nuts. But yeah, I think if you do the quick grab that, do the Stream Deck, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, let's do it like that, I think. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so like I would say if you have the money and you want to stream, like, and that's definitely going to help you out for sure. So I would say go for it. We're going to figure out black shadows. Okay, so let's go erase that garbage. As far as video editing, I don't know about that. I know it definitely helps for streaming. Video editing, I guess it could be helpful. That's one of those things where I haven't used it for that. I just use, I don't know. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I haven't thought about that just because I normally would just use my keyboard shortcuts. So it's, to me, that's not a huge thing to have to do that. you don't have a stream broken soul. Yeah, for sure. No, yeah, you definitely can't do everything. That needs to go. So let's see. I'm working through. Oops, no, nope. Working through this. Yeah. Definitely, if you're planning on streaming, I'd say it's a good idea to get it Steam account. I have a Steam account. It's from forever ago. I've had that since I was in high school. Like way long ago. Ancient. Okay, real quick, set this to normal. I think I hate that. Okay, grab that code. Grab the right color. Cool. Okay. Set that back to darken. Unless you make your own shortcuts, but then you end up having shortcuts where you need to click 3 different buttons to add a blur effect. But just like the idea of a stream deck. I mean, yeah. When it comes down to it, like it's really just what you want. Like if you want that, go for it. It's entirely your decision. Yeah. As far as streaming, I use essentially a stream deck. It's not really. Let's see. It's. Sorry. So this is what I use, but that's just because I got it off of like an online sell your crap kind of situation, and they were selling it for really cheap, so that's why I got that. But whoops, not what I meant to do there. There we go. As opposed to a stream deck, which is a lot more expensive than what I paid for that. I didn't pay very much for that at all. I got a bargain on it, so I was happy. But yeah. So, like, it has a lot of buttons, and the only problem is, like, the Stream Deck will work from essentially any window on your stream software, whereas this, I have to be on the specific window for it to work correctly, from what I understand about Stream Deck. Oh, awesome. Cool. Let's see, so erase that. Yeah, so let's see, I want to change up this color because it's, yeah, and on here, the eye, because this is almost white, so it's not looking exactly the way I would like it to. So let's go with, I wonder if I did that color. Whoops. Yeah, it's just, it's essentially, let's jump down to like a gray. Let's make it a cooler gray. Stream Deck would be the nicest for simple OBS scene changes instead of exiting the game and having to click stuff. Yeah, so yeah, the way I have the thing, my thing set up is, yeah, I have the play, transition, pause, like stop, and at the top 3 there, and then on the one below I can switch windows. So I always have to have the OBS window was the last thing I went to, so I can switch to that and then just transition without actually having to like move my mouse over there. Yeah, it's a whole thing. But it works. So fun. But yeah, it would be nice to just be able to hit it and it does exactly what it should. Like with the Stream Deck. That'd be totally awesome. Yeah, I tried. I'm not exactly... I couldn't exactly get it to work out. I don't know. It's just one of those things where I guess I need to look into it a little bit more, but I don't know. It works just fine. Like if I had the option, I would absolutely go grab a Stream Deck and do it that way, but let's just say that's probably catching a little bit of light, just a touch. Just it shows that it has that because it thinks I'm a robot. That's weird. All right. I'll have to look at that. I'm sorry. But yeah, I say this right here catches a little bit. That's pretty. There. All right. I'll have to look at that. I don't know why it's doing that. So let's grab. Oops, not you. That. Okay. Step it down to go up to my layer here. But yeah, like I looked into it for sure, tried to figure it out, was unable to figure it out. So I just kind of have accepted that it's not doing exactly what I want, but it's working, so I'm not going to mess with it too much. There we go. Oh, and that's on a totally different layer, and it's whatever. Oh shoot. Actually, no, that's not the shadows. Normal. Grab that. Back to darken. Oops. Okay, so we got that. All right. And I need that. Grab that and hit that little spot. Shoot. Did it again. Okay, go to the shadows. I really just should. put it off to the side somewhere. All right, so we got, looks like that's all back. Darken. Okay. I gotta go. We got a lot done though, so that's positive. A lot of the line art is transitioned from black to color lines. Still need to do some of the face lines. I need to do the whole scythe, and the buckle and stuff. Whoops. Do that. There we go. So, yeah. So if I hit that, then I should be able to transition. Yeah. So, thanks to everyone who stopped in and chatted and all that fun stuff. Almost done with this. Really, really close. Just need to finish coloring the line art and then put a simple background back there. I'm not entirely sure what that's going to be just yet, but it will be something simple. And then I will finally be able to put it up so that people can draw this in their style. Because hopefully people do that, because that'd be really cool. I like it. It'd be neat to see people's interpretation of my character. Yeah, really exciting. So I'm really looking forward to that. Hope you guys join in on that. You can find all my progress, and once it's done, you can find it down here on my Instagram and my Twitter, right down there. Again, thanks for stopping in. I will see you guys on Monday for sure. Maybe before that, don't know. Kind of a weird time with these quarantine situations and whatnot. So yeah, I really appreciate everyone stopping in. It's always awesome to hear from you guys and chat. It's a lot more fun chatting and drawing than it is just drawing and mumbling to myself. So again, thanks for stopping in. It's awesome to chat with you guys, and it's way more fun for me. Hopefully it's more fun for you too. So feel free, if you're just lurking, to chat. I'll chat about just about anything. You can ask my opinions on things or whatever. I don't really care. We'll see. Anyway, thanks again for stopping in. It's awesome to see you guys, and I hope you come back next time, which would be for sure Monday. For sure Monday. And again, maybe in between, but I don't know. Like I said, weird times. Well, we'll see. Anyway, thanks for stopping in, and I'll see you guys later.